If you've been curious about this collection of images back here, today we are talking about it. Hey folks, it's Mary, aka MercyTriumphs, and this is Slow Crochet. Today I want to talk to you about the idea of a mood board, which is not an original idea of mine. I actually want to talk about the mood board that I created when Gary over at Urban Yarns introduced the concept to us as crocheters, kind of as a way to answer a question that he often gets about how he chooses colors. In the last couple of months, Gary challenged his followers or subscribers or just anyone interested to create a mood board to help them with choosing colors for crochet projects. And I happily did the same. And if you've noticed, it's been back here all this time. So let me grab that for you. So the concept of a mood board is something used in design and art classes, and oftentimes you might see it for like interior design, where you might have swatches of fabrics that you're going to use in a space, or different colors, or different inspirational ideas, maybe like some architecture, or maybe some textures, or maybe something from the natural world, and you're putting all of these different ideas together of things that you want to incorporate. But in terms of crochet or knit or working with yarn, perhaps the mood board is more taking images that evoke an emotion that you want to convey in what you create. And I found this to be such an interesting process because not only does it remind us that the work that we do has a very strong emotional component to it, but that we feel something not only when we're creating, but when we are wearing what we've created. So we can be intentional about what mood, what feeling we want to evoke for ourselves when we're choosing colors or textures for a project. So anyway, let's look at my little mood board here. And I'll talk through some of the pictures that I have here. This one here is a greeting card of, I believe it's a sunset over a snowy lake. But the colors of that stark, dark gray contrasted with the pink and the orange and the yellow, and then going up into the purples and the blues. I found that to be really striking, really peaceful and beautiful, and yet so vibrant. One of the things I love in my life is being able to see the sunrise or the sunset. I like to take just a couple of seconds to appreciate that beauty because it's so fleeting. It's so quickly gone. So having a photo of that sunset was something I wanted to include in my mood board. This one is a photo that I took at an aquarium when I was visiting with my children, and it is some jellyfish that are lit up from below with some lights that were kind of rotating in different colors. Again, the peace of those jellyfish just kind of wafting there, and the gentle way that the colors were playing off of them. Now, they're not this color in real life, but the lights in the aquarium were making that soft interplay. It was like a living lava lamp, just so gentle. But it's also in a way that I could appreciate jellyfish because I'm not trying to avoid stepping on them at the ocean. Another photo up here, this is actually a postcard of a painting by George Seurat, and it is Gray Weather Grand Jeté, pardon my French, in the actual part of my French. Here we have some of those gentle beiges, those pale pinks, those kind of washed out but not quite sepia tones. Again, just very soft, a very peaceful little scene there. And you can imagine going out on a boat for a nice afternoon or just having a relaxing time. Again, it's those feelings of peace. This is a photo I took as I was in a car and I was crossing over a lake at sunset. And to me, again, that orange, that pale blue, those pale colors and how they're reflected from the sky into the lake, they just brought me this sense of well-being and calm. We're sensing a theme here. We have a Christmas card from one of my very favorite people on the planet, and you're seeing similar colors there. It's a gentle scene. It's a big open fire. It's not over the top, and it's letting this quiet, small moment speak for itself. Two last photos. This one is a photo that I took at Sewanee University, and I have looked so hard to find the artist here. There wasn't any kind of marking on it at all when I went there, but someone at Sewanee University did this series of paintings, and I snapped a photo just because I love the juxtaposition of the colors there, and again, that gentleness coming out. My favorite photo is right here in the center. This is one I snapped of my husband. He's one of these people here. He was out playing with some good friends, and you can't see it, but in this tree line across the field, it dips down and there is a little river. So as the sun was setting and it was getting cool, the mist from the river was rolling up out of the tree line and onto the field. And the game had just finished. They were just practicing, having a lot of fun. Everyone's exhausted with that really happy feeling of a really fun time had. And they were all coming back off the field toward me. And then with the sky and the clouds, I do believe I am blessed with some of the best clouds anywhere I've ever seen. And I've traveled a little bit. I have traveled, but I just love the clouds where I live. There's so much variation. There's so much beauty. They're just infinitely wonderful to me. So that photo goes straight in the center. Again, we get some of the greens coming in, the blue, the pale kind of blush colors. And so this was my mood board. The main mood, the main word that comes to mind when I put this together was gentle. And maybe gentle isn't a mood, maybe it's not a feeling, but it's something that, a deep place of who I am. My hope is that my heart is known for gentleness and kindness and generosity. But so many times in my life, I have to be a disciplinarian, I have to set boundaries, I have to be the firm, strong one, and I'm not often given the opportunity to just be gentle. And so as I work in crochet, I actually want to clothe myself in these kinds of colors that evoke that sense, that knowledge of who I am deep inside my core, when I don't have to be in a position of authority, when I don't have to have the weight of the world on my shoulders. Actually, who I am is gentle. And so when I'm working in something creative, I'm actually surrounding myself in that truth of who I actually am. So what does that look like? It might mean choosing some yarn that has those similar dusky colors to it. And it might mean making sure the textures are really soft and wonderful. It might mean choosing more of those peaches and more of those aquas that I see so often in the sunrises and sunsets. It might mean taking different colors and working them together, but knowing that they do make sense, because how well would this fit in together there? Or maybe it's embracing just one shade, because as the light is shining, as the sun is going down or coming up, we go from one shade to another and it just blends seamlessly. It's almost like a watercolor painting in the sky. And then I get to actually wear these colors, and I get to remember as I'm doing so of who I really am. No matter what the world is going on around me, I get to choose by what I put on and what I've made. I get to choose what my feelings are going to be. I get to promote certain feelings in my life, and I get to remember the good things. It is so easy to get bogged down in the junk of life. And so I think when we're being creative, it is this hopeful process that we're reaching and we're remembering and we're hoping to become who we really are. I want to bring more gentleness into my parenting. I want to bring more gentleness into my teaching. I want to bring more gentleness into how I interact with the world, not just when I'm on camera, but when I am tired and stressed. I want to be more and more of that best version of myself in times when I feel my worst, right? We all want to continue improving and growing and becoming. And so when we take this minute, and when I've taken a minute to create my little mood board here, it has helped me focus in on the power of my creativity, because what I'm doing is going to evoke certain feelings and experiences. And not only do I have that for myself, but then I get to offer that to the world. Now, this does not need to be a limiting thing. For me, I find that things kind of go in waves. Sometimes I want to feel bold and energized, especially early in the morning, and I haven't had my tea. Might want to pull a bright color so I can feel excited and get ready to go and take on the world. or I know I have a big challenge ahead of me, so I'm psyching myself up to go for it, and I'm going to pull out the bright neons and the bold colors, or even the black with a pop of a bright color. It's something to just be aware of, that as we're creating things, we kind of get to decide what we're calling forth in our own hearts and what we're offering to the world through color. That color does communicate, and it communicates feelings and emotion. And it's a beautiful thing that we can have an effect on our world based on something like the colors we choose, as we think about the emotions that those are bringing forth in us and in others. So that's my little ramble today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I've been really wanting to do this video for a while, and I've been excited to talk about it because I think one of the most satisfying things is to feel at home in your own skin and to be able to offer that beauty out to the world. You get to offer who you really are out to the world. And doing a little exercise like a mood board kind of helps me get more in touch with that and be more intentional with that. And so I get to be part of this community, making the world a more beautiful place, offering my uniqueness to whoever comes across my path. In this case, it's you. So thank you again for spending some time with me today. Let me know in the comments, have you ever considered creating a mood board for your projects? Would you do a mood board for specific projects, or would you do kind of as I have, like an overarching thing of, this is the season of life I'm in, and this is kind of where my heart is. And you put it out there in a way that just makes your heart happy, and it reminds you of who you are when you're choosing colors and that kind of thing. It helps guide your yarn purchases or your Yarny adventures. So yeah, let me know in the comments. And also, did you participate in Gary's mood board make-along? Because that was such a fun experience, and I do hope that he'll do more soon. He promised he would, and I hope I'll hold him to it. Thank you again to all of my subscribers, old and new. Thank you for everyone who just comes along with me as I ramble about Yarny and yarn adjacent things. You really do make my day, and it's such an honor to be part of your lives. If I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so very much for listening this long. I really do appreciate you, and I do hope I will see you again soon. Bye.